For the benefit of the person writing, taking the minutes, the recording vote is the mayor, Mr. Bloodworth, Mr. Ramey voting aye, and Mr. Johnson is on record as having voted nay. All right, let's move on. Ms. Clerk, you've got some training on February, the 2 or 3 days in February. You wanted to...
Yes, sir. This is the part of the mandated training for the city clerk towards certification. Jekyll Island, February 4th through the 6th. This will be for both room and meals also.
Okay, and you telling me, I think, is what you've said for the benefit of all here, you've just about completed all of your mandatory training and you're going to get your diploma.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I've got 3 classes when I go there, and I like one more.
All right, now you're not going to pursue your doctorate degree now, are you?
No.
Gentlemen, I entertain a motion to approve the clerk's training. Motion made by Mr. Bloodworth. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Okay, the next item is that the, who made, is this a state law?
This is
Internal Revenue Service today issued a 215 optional standard mileage rates. Okay, so this is not a law, this is optional. Beginning January, the standard mileage rate used for car and vans and pickups and panels will be 54.5 cents per mile for employees using their own vehicle, 18 cents per mile for medical and moving purposes, and 14 cents per mile. At any rate, I entertain a motion that we accept the standard mileage compensation for individuals using their own vehicle.
Motion made.
Motion made by Mr. Bloodworth. Is there a second? Second and third. We got a second and a third. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, the motion is carried. Gentlemen, you've got before you your water and sewer adjustments. You've got the report of the usage and the increase of water and sewer fees, and you've got the check register in there showing all the checks were written and bills were paid. I entertain a motion to approve 13, that's item 13, 14, and 15.
Motion made to approve 13, 14, 15.
Motion is made, we approve the 3 items that listed there. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. All right, we'll go back in case we got any citizens left. We've already taken care of part of it, but let's go ahead and if somebody, you folks in the back, did y'all got something you'd like to address the council with? Anybody? If you would, come forward to this area right here, we can hear you better.
My concern is dealing with my water bill. I've been having problems with my water bill for, I know, at least 6 months. And I got an outline just for last year. I paid almost $1,000 just for water bill. And this month, it's $77.65. And it been being, I got an outline of it, it's been being $88, $83. And my landlord, I had a plumber to come out, and he presented a letter to the ladies in the city hall where he done went under the house and they done checked everything, and he can't find anything. And I don't know why my water bill keep going up like that.
Where do you live at, man?
I stay on 258 Bixler Highway. And this every month. For last year, I paid $853.65 just in water. And it's nobody there but me and him. And he work all day, I work all day. And we do very much with water. And I've talked with, other peoples and stuff, and that's pretty much for water.
We have somebody check her meter?
We go.
We have Councilman Bloodworth, and every time that it's checked, it pings the leak. And they've even went out there and actually handread it and everything. But, I can get Lori to do it again, but I know that it's been checked twice.
And we done had a plumber to come last month. The landlord had a plumber to come
Yeah.
and go out there and
Well,
get a 30 check.
What I would like for you to do, and is this your son here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is your meter in your box, where you can see it, you can get the lid off and look at it? You can go look at it. All right, there's a little dial down there. It's not quite as big as my watch. But if water's running through that meter, that little thing just spins, and it don't take but just a little bit. If you've got a little stream of water coming out to a little bit, say bigger than a lead of a pencil, much smaller than that little dial in that thing will just spin like everything. If you cut everything in your house off, everything, go check spigots and everything, and you go out there and take that thing up, and that meter's spinning, you got a leak somewhere. Now then, but say we want to help you. We don't want you paying anything that you shouldn't. We want to help you all we can, and I can assure you, I'm going to try to get involved in it myself to try to help you. Now here's the thing I also want to tell you. I live by myself. I live alone, and my water bill is $55 a month. That's a flat rate at my house. They take my, and I don't hit the maximum, but they take my bill. I'm in the city. My bill every month is $55. I paid it, I don't know how long, $55 a month. Now you have got a little different problem. I live in the city and I pay city taxes. You live outside the city, you live in the county. And your bill is 1.5 times what mine is. So your bill, if you're like me, a minimum, if you use the very minimum, it appears now, and I'm not an authority on this, but we've got some people that are. Based upon knowing what I use, and I'm always pay the minimum, that means that yours should be about $55 plus another 25 or 27, which would be about $70-something a month. So if it's like mine, your bill is going to run about $70 a month.
Well, it hadn't been running, it's been running, $53, $61, $57, $58, cause that's what it usually run until the last, I think started in September, I believe, that's when it jumped from 50-something to 80, 88.01.
When did we go up on that water bill? Didn't the city have an increase on the water inside and outside on the water bill? I bet you that's what has happened, because yours don't have the actual garbage or nothing on there, do you?
No, I don't have, I got.
Not the straight water.
That sounds like the increase.
I
That
think
sounds
we
like
need to
an
look
increase.
at it, because I bet you that's
Well-
what it is. Yeah, and if they done had all that, let us get involved and see if we can find out what's going on with it. But it's probably that increase, because I know we went up in the city and we went up on some outside the city, just a small amount. It wasn't much, but see, it went up a little.
But I want you,
That's what it jumped up.
we want to look at it and help you, I'll assure you we do. If we don't want you paying a dime's worth of water that you don't use, but I do want you, now please, I'm telling you how to go check everything. It's really easy to do on a warm day. I wouldn't want to get out in this cold weather to do it. But you get everything cut off, and you go up there in that meter, and you get that thing cleaned off so you see that little dial. If that little dial's spinning, you go look somewhere, you got a leak somewhere, there's water going somewhere. So help us do that. That's something, see, we can't go to every house all the time. So you can look at that dial and say, look here, that dial ain't moving. And I mean, I've checked it every once a week or something, and it's, when I cut water off, it's off. Then we need to check on something. Maybe the meter's wrong or something.
Mr. Knapp, if you don't mind, let some of us go with y'all to look at it. I know they tried to discourage them one time from going in the meter, and if we having a problem with it, they might say that something was going on. But let one of them go there and look. But like the mayor said, that will help us to get to your problem. because Freddie or some of them can come out and we'll see what we can do.
That's
Please.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to suggest this as soon as our meeting is over, and with me being city clerk, I will be calling Mr. Carl Leggett, our public works director,
Mhm.
and I will give him this address and see what he can
We'll
do.
get to that.
I don't think,
Okay.
I wouldn't call him tonight.
Mhm.
I'll be by Wednesday in the morning.
I won't be here in the morning.
Well,
Okay.
okay, all right, thank you, ma'am, we'll try to help you with it.
All right.
Okay, any other citizen comments? Area commissioners?
I want to thank the city for their support for the MLK. It turned out really, really nice, and hopefully it get bigger, and the mayor put on a big show for y'all. So thank y'all very much. Thank the police and all for their assistance and for the fire. It was nice. We had a beautiful day.
I want to, say how much I appreciate, John Ramey, has come on board, and this is his first meeting. And after John, fought real hard and
Give me the big head and start off with.
after he fought real hard and knocked on every door in his district and run all the ads and worked so hard to get elected, he really phased it. Mr. Ramey didn't even have an opponent, he didn't check in.
That's right.
But anyway,
I give you your bonus check just now or later.
but let me tell you this, from the time he was notified that he was the new holder of this position, he's been here and worked with us. And John Ramey, I want you to know that I'm delighted that you're here, and I know that you'll be a good public servant. We look forward to working with you.
I look forward to representing the city and working with such a fine group.
John.
We can-
Now, Mr. Johnson, while you were away, wait a minute, while you were away, your neighbor said, can I do his job? So I want you to know, he did a real good job.
Did he? Okay.
But now you got it back now.
So move.
We've got a move that we adjourned, is there a second? Second by Mr. Bloodworth, any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for vote, all in favor say aye.
Ah.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Is that soon enough? You got 15, 30 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, the hour has arrived. I call this meeting to order, and I'm going to call on Mr. Dwayne Johnson for the invocation.
Father, we do thank you again for letting us come into our first city council of the year. Thank you for Hazelhurst, our community, our people. We actually look down upon us now. Bless those that are sick and shed in, the bereaved. Lord, look on this nation, but our soldiers, bless all the leaders in our government. We know we can do nothing without you at a time like this. Look down upon those that are in need, wherever they may be, in our prayer. Thank you. Amen.
Let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We've got our agenda before us, and we've discussed it among ourselves a little bit here. We've got some people that we didn't understand that they wanted to be put back on the agenda, more than one group. And the council has sort of consented that we have a section down here for citizens' comments, and we're always, for those of you that don't know, a person can walk in this door right now that I don't even know and sit down, and before this meeting's over, if he wants to say something, he can say something. At one time, it was required here that you give 24 hours notice and all that. This is the citizens' meeting, and when a citizen comes in and wants to say something to this council, we're always open. Now, what, gentlemen, I want to ask you to do is we've got, we said we'd allow these folks to speak under citizens' comments. I'd like to ask, we bend the rules a little and let these folks say what they'd like to say to us, and then they can get out and go about their business and we try to finish our agenda. So I'd like to ask, I'd like for a motion to amend the agenda to let the citizens' comments be the preface, first thing on the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
I'll promotion.
Mr. Johnson made the motion that we amend our agenda to allow citizens' comments. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Raymond, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That has been inserted. Gentlemen, is there any other, I can announce one other thing. I'd like to ask that we omit item number 1, the criteria for studying and looking at it, getting it ready. Plus, we don't have a full group here, and courtesy to Mr. Griffin, who is not here, we're going to ask the number 1 item, the engineering agreement, to be postponed to the next meeting. And without any, entertaining motion, that you allow me to do that, to discard that item.
I'll promotion.
Mr. Johnson made the motion that we eliminate item number 1. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Ramey. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we've made some adjustments. Now I entertain any other things that need to be changed on the agenda. Hearing none, I call for a motion. We approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Ramey's moved that we approve the amended agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Johnson. Any further discussion? Blood Wolf, you're right quiet down there. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor of approving the amended agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we've got our work cut out for us. Under citizen comments, Ms. Pope, we're gonna let you and your crowd go first.
Come on up with you. I was gonna give her some more.
Now, there's one thing I'd like for you to know. I spent a good bit of time out at Collins Street and Pat Dixon Road today. And if you know, you folks know where that circular sidewalk comes around where your monument is.
Right.
It's by the school, and the sidewalk is circular here, and your monument is to the left of the sidewalk. There's, even the sidewalk's not gonna be disturbed, much less your monument. It's outside of the area of the contract, so, of course, as I told you, Monday night when we were here, when the engineer gets through it and sees it, I want y'all to look at it, and the fact that the sidewalk's there and y'all not disturbed, and if you don't like what you see, if you think it's too close or whatever, well, we're gonna be amenable to working with you, but I don't think y'all got a thing more to worry about. I don't think you're even within the bounds of where the construction is gonna be at all.
But we would still like it writing if it comes to the point where it has to be moved, that you.
Well, we all agreed Monday night it'll be a regular session tonight, so, but here again, I won't give y'all the courtesy to speak through it. Let me tell you what, we're so glad to have nice people here that we want to hear from all these good remarks, so proceed.
Well, I'm just supporting her, and this was the picture, of the monument. If there's anybody else that hasn't paid
A lot
attention.
of people don't even know that's out there.
Uh-huh. And I had a scrapbook, and I took pictures as each step was taking place. And we put down a foundation, they got the foundation, and then put concrete, and then put brick on top of that. So it would be a mess to pick up and clean and to move away.
It's not just a matter of picking up some bricks and putting some bricks back down. You've got a lot of donors that give all of those and subscribe like they want. And it would be, I can understand your frustration, and I'm in complete sympathy. But again, went out there today and measured, and there's even the telephone pole and the utilities on the other side. If you'll go out there and look from the road and see where that is, we're gonna work around the utilities. They're a lot closer than y'all are. Y'all are way on the other side of the other side. So I don't think you got a thing more to worry about. Plus, we're gonna do what we said. We'll, maybe if you would, Raymond, why don't you make a motion that we, send the retired teachers a letter of
Information.
you're informing them of what we're doing and what they'll be done, so that they can, and I'll be glad to sign the letter if y'all tell me to. Want to make a motion to that effect?
So moved that we have a motion, that we have a letter of information telling you what will be done before it's done.
Is there a second to that motion?
The cost was $11,816, and we already have a campaign going to put more brick down.
Okay.
And I have $1,130 in that, ready to keep adding to.
And so we don't wanna put down anything, you know, until we know that it's not
Well,
gonna.
the engineer's on the job now, his designing's already been out there and got it all done. And, as soon as the engineering plan's ready, I'll see that y'all are well informed, and I'm gonna send you a letter to that effect.
All right.
If we, I think I am, we got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for vote. All in favor of this, motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? See, they made me do it.
All
It's
right.
done. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you. We're
All
glad, we're
Thanks.
glad we don't have to be upset.
Me too.
And I'd like to be excused to go to a meeting in the
Yes.
library.
Well, I'm gonna be there, hold me up, but save me a seat.
Oh, yeah.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Okay, Brother Hobbs,
Yes, sir.
Mr. County Commissioner, come forward, but, you know, he's not representing the county
No, I am
commission
not.
tonight, he's representing his church. Come forward.
I appreciate y'all allowing me to come. I don't know whether you all have heard anything about this, but, you know, there's a big church being built on the corner up there when you come into town.
We're all very proud of it.
Yes, yes. And what we would like, we're in our winter Bible conference, that's why there's not some more deacons here with us. As soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna head that way. But what I'd like to ask is that we consider some way of detouring, not detouring, but deterring the traffic that comes through the center of the campus there at First Baptist. And that would, I'm trying to make sure I got the names of the streets right, East Coffee and East First Avenue actually dead ends right there at the church. East Coffee is the one that comes off of 341. And the biggest issue there is folks shoot off of 341 and fly through there. Instead of going straight on in front of where the church is going to be facing, they take that little cut-through road. There's nothing there, it's just a cut-through. So what we have talked about as far as First Baptist is nothing that would be obstructive to the road or whatever, other than putting a speed bump where you enter the campus, a speed bump where you exit the campus, a speed bump where you enter from the other way, and a sign that would stick right in the center that would, you know, say, no through traffic or whatever, you know, whatever you all would consider, just to deter people from coming through there. It's not gonna stop them, but it's gonna deter them, and they're gonna have to stop and go over speed bumps, so they're not flying through there at 40 miles an hour with folks opening their doors, trying to get out, go to church and church business. So that's kind of what I wanted to propose, and see if you all have nothing, we wouldn't tear it straight or nothing. We paid for staking down a couple of those little polyester, I reckon they're polyvinyl or whatever they are, speed bumps, put them down on one side of the road, inside of the bank, where it wouldn't deter that, inside of the, what's on the other end of the,
Historical Museum.
yeah, the museum on the other end, and then just past Bell South on the other end. So it wouldn't deter any of that traffic, but yet it would stop them from just flying through there on that road.
Now that's the main road, when I say the main road, right down the side of it, right?
Right. The road that cuts through the side, that cuts through back to the one-way. And of course, you can go straight, and then you just hit the one-way. But this just kind of cuts you off and brings you in right there at Handy Andy, and doesn't go to anything other than, basically, where I'm talking about would all be inside the campus of First Baptist. Nobody would own any other property.
I think that's a state road. I think we looked at that years ago.
Yeah.
I thought it got transferred.
I don't think it did. I don't think it never would do it, because they looked at trying to close it one time.
Yeah, they really know, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we tried to help the church at that time, and they brought it to us. And, because so many people was crossing and couldn't get crossed there at the time, you know. And, when they first did the lot on that side. But anyway, we told them, just go ahead and put up these signs. Yeah, with people going through, they know that's the church. But something about the road is in the back of my mind. The state wouldn't allow us to transfer it or put something on it.
Well, what I was told is it got transferred about a year and a half ago, according to Steve Land. He was involved with it before he went out of office.
I
The
know
city
he-
got transferred to city property, and the city's maintaining it is the only reason
Okay.
this has come up. I was told that, and I don't know that for sure, but, I was told it's now city property.
We can certainly find out.
But I thought that it wasn't transferred. I may be wrong.
Well, if it is state property, I'd like for y'all's help in trying to
Well,
find out.
whether it was or not,
Mhm.
with the, your facility and your, possibly, I may have the wrong figures, but I heard something, with your $3 million investment and what y'all put up there for the city of Hazelhurst, I'll assure you that this group will work with you to provide a safe place for you and people at all times and get, well, if it's still DOT, I'll call their traffic people and make sure that they help us with you, and I'll have you present when they come to try to work out something that'll make it safe for your people, because we certainly want to do that. So you can, I think, I can say on behalf of all of us, if I'm not, y'all correct me, that you'll have our blessings and help in providing something, if not exactly what you're talking about, something very similar.
That'll work. The main thing is all parking is on one side of the road and all facilities pretty much on the other side. So you got people crossing day in and day out.
And you'd have, you know, in Atlanta and places we go quite frequently, they've got all these below ground and above ground parking. Y'all would have to get mighty high to get above that church down there with upstairs parking, wouldn't you? I'm saying that trying to be a little facetious here. Let us leave it this way, if the council will approve this. We'll certainly get some traffic control people, plus what you've done, and Steve's got a lot of experience too, and as you well know, we'll work with you in getting something done. And we'll notify you and inform you so that everybody's familiar. Don't y'all think that we can say that without any problem? Okay.
First step probably being to find out who actually owns the road.
Right.
That'll work.
We'll get on
Proceed
it.
from there.
All right, thank y'all very much, appreciate it.
Okay. All right, now then, we've got back to, these items, council. Oh, you're here. Charles,
Yes, sir.
you're next.
Okay.
I was fixing to handle this for you, thinking you told me you weren't gonna be here.
Well, the last truck.
You were so small, I didn't see you back there.
Thanks, sir. I lost a couple of
Yeah, right truck, we moved delivery till next Tuesday due to
Okay.
the weather, and we had to drill for Monday night, so we decided to move it to Tuesday night. First item is the cancer insurance. We talked about this Tuesday night. We had 3 different people that give us bids on it. One did not meet the law. It is now a law. You have to provide this insurance for all our firefighters. So the law was in effect January 1st of this year. Standards for training will be the authoritative figure over that. So when they come and audit us, we have to have a certificate. The county's already signed, and we're waiting on a certificate from ACCG. They've already signed all their volunteers up, so we're waiting on that. But we have to have a certificate from both city and county states. We have this.
What was the amount of that the low bid on that thing from GMA?
You got it right
I
there.
got it right here, yeah.
4,277, I believe.
Gentlemen, we've had a work session to hash this over, and we know we've got to do it, and they've got now secured bids that come up below the West Georgia Municipal Association. Our, yeah. And, you said that right here. And, so what I think we ought to do now, Charles, if you would help me here, if this council approves and accepts this low bid, we've got to do this. That's the $47.88 per year for the, if the number of employees changes, how it just gonna vary?
It will. I mean, they'll do an audit on it every quarter, and we'll see. But I mean, there's a certain amount that we're covered for, so if we add, subtract.
This is as your staff now.
Yes, sir.
This is $4,700, and it'll vary up and down about what is it per person? You know, it would, is it in here? I didn't think it was in
I
here.
think they just give us an actual figure.
I didn't think,
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it.
I know as we worked on this, when we first started trying to get the legislation passed, it was gonna be over.
Yeah, here it is too, yeah, I beg your pardon.
Well below 200.
It's about $747 per year per full-time firefighter.
No, that's volunteer and full-time.
Estimated annual premium for employed firefighters.
That's all.
They're
Volunteer
also,
firefighters, they didn't give us a figure.
That's part of it.
That's all
That's part
together.
of it. That's all.
Well, I was on that line right up there. The volunteers, and there's
That's
nothing
all.
on that line.
Mhm.
Oh, you think this is included in the two? You
This is
think
It's
that's
the
what it is?
employed
We sent-
and your volunteers.
Right, we sent the information in. This is how many firefighters we have now.
So about the only way that this sum of $47.88 will change is if your staff changes.
Right, and keep in mind that 20 letters went out today for city and county firefighters that they were now terminated from the department.
Yeah.
Because they do not meet the training requirements that is part of this law as well.
Well, they can,
They can take the class and come back and give it. But they're basically, they have to be terminated and they come back and take the class and get past the state test.
Were these 20 considered in this price?
There was just a figure that was considered that price. It's not gonna drop right now. It'll drop. Each time they reconfigure, it'll drop, and it's not gonna drop right now.
another year, maybe.
Right.
In other words, this would be the premium pretty much for 12 months.
Yes, sir.
Now, and also you told me that we had still a few more months. If we approve it tonight, accept it, it doesn't have to go in effect this month or February. It could go in effect in March if we wanted it to.
Well, as long as I don't get audited by standards of training, we'll be okay.
Well, now, when do you think, I thought you told me.
It was
we had-
required by law to in January, so
Yes,
it's
it was, yes.
January.
But you've got a
Now,
whole year.
what I told you the other day, was you asked me about grading again, that's ISO grading, but for compliance, that's standards of training.
But we're not mandated by law to have it enforced at the present time.
You was January
It
1st,
was January
2018.
1st.
I thought you told me we had some leeway.
Well, standards of training is not going to ask for it until they come and do our auditing. So I don't know exactly when we'll get audited. We may not get audited for 8 months, but when they walk in and do your audit.
Okay, well, you've answered that, and I'm asking these questions to help the council make up their mind. So if we voted this year, you would be expecting, if we approve it, as soon as the payroll
As soon as we could, yes.
get executed to get.
As long as we're moving that direction, if it takes 30 days or so, we're fine. As long as we're moving in that direction to make that happen.
How long do you think it takes to get it implemented and then?
Probably about 30 days,
Okay.
by the time we get
Yeah, at
everything.
least.
So
set.
gentlemen, I've asked a lot of questions. Have y'all got any additional questions?
I'd like to make a motion
All right, sir.
that we approve the insurance, cancer insurance for the firefighters, 4788 premium.
With the Georgia Medical Association.
Yes.
Or is there a second to that motion? Seconded by Mr. Ramey. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion's carried. Next item.
Next item was some mandated training for my fire inspector. We're trying to get ahead of ISO, when they do come in here, that we have these things in place, that we can get some extra credit. Brian Newell is he's my fire inspector, and he's actually taking a class. Class was full, we were able to pull some strings and get him into class, but I had to go in, the first class was last week. So we had to go in and send him to the class, and then the next class will be this coming up week, so he's got a week off in between classes. So I'm asking for a week of forgiveness and a week of permission.
I understand that. Did you put the cost of this particular training in our packet? I don't remember seeing it.
The first week, meals and all was under 400, was around 400 or less than 400, I can't remember the
So we're
meals.
talking about $800 to $1,000 is
Yeah.
what we're spending for this.
Less than $1,000.
Gentlemen,
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, you see item number 3 we're talking about. I entertain a motion that we approve item 3.
So moved.
Who made the motion? Mr. Ramey. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that's taken care of. All right, next.
The last item is each of you know, we've been working on the training center for about 2 years. Getting that's gonna be a big plus for us when ISO does come into town. But the vision of that training center was not mine. It was the previous chief before me, Larry Anthony. He was here for some time and left in the early 90s, and that's when I took his place. If you went by that place on Pat Dixon Road back in 1986, 87, you see the sign said future home of the Hazelhurst Fire Headquarters and Training Center. It took us 30 years to make the training center part of it work. So our folks have come together. Some of the volunteers were here Tuesday night, and they're requesting that we have the permission to name that center after him. And that's what we're asking permission for, is to name the training center after Larry Anthony.
I entertain a motion that we give the fire chief the authority to proceed with naming and doing whatever they need to do to get that thing dedicated to our former fire chief, Anthony.
I'll make a motion.
A motion made by Mr. Bloodworth. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by, who was that, Mr. Johnson? Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's taken care of.
I don't think I reiterated too, he passed away this past, this 17th.
Okay, you can proceed with whatever things you need to do relative to that item, and everything else is approved. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is, has the 341 project out here adjacent to the new library out on the Baxley Highway, and also the State Patrol Post. For those of you that were not here during the Monday's working session, the agreement between the county commissioners and the city, I think, is pretty much, according to what Natasha told me, Mr. Attorney, pretty much complete.
Right.
And I think we're in total, I think it's one of the finest things that we've done lately for us, the commissioners and the full council and the commissioners, to work on a project of this significance like we're doing. It appears that, and of course I've got one of the commissioners here, he can correct me if I'm wrong, I think perhaps the first two things that's going to happen out there is that the county commissioners are going to put in that farmer's market, that little, sleep up that little area in one corner, and we're going to put a splash pad that's going to be ready for me to, I've already getting ready to get my swimming suit on so I can go out there and splash around when it gets hot weather. And I thought I'd get a laugh out of that. But anyway, those two items are coming up, am I correct, Commissioner, that the farmer's market is pretty well on its way?
Well, as far as we got consensus with right now, it's just for the agreement between us and the group that actually owns it to deed the property over to the
We
county,
understand that.
et cetera. So,
But the county commissioners, are y'all, as soon as that is
it's
done?
been talked about, but I can't commit to that because we hadn't actually taken a vote on it and got before the.
Okay, well, I can make this thing to inform you, and you can inform the commissioners and for the people here. We've already ordered this,
Right.
we ordered the splash pad.
Right.
And so we made, we got some skin in the game.
Right.
We made a commitment, so I hope everything's moving well. And on the State Patrol Post, let me, and I said this, I'll make this real brief. We've got the information has been submitted by the attorneys, and we've got a notification back from me, and I've got it completed. I haven't printed it because I want to go over it finally, finalize it. The plat that we sent to them had Jeff Davis County Commissioners and the City of Hazelhurst on it. That won't work with them. We've got to put State of Georgia on it. It's got to be in their name and filed and recorded. Also, on this plat, I've got to have so I've had to redo it, so much data that I've had to increase the size of the plat a little bit. And on that, it even tells you the deed, book, and page that the deed's recorded. Now, what we have agreed to do is to just get the clerk to reserve a book and page number, and then we can go ahead and file the plat without any problem. And we'd like to get a little bit, of course, I saw, by the way, when was I in Atlanta? Monday?
Last week.
Monday, I saw Colonel McDonald Monday and told him that we were moving. He said he understood it, and then I've talked to his secretary since then. And I think, Mr. Attorney, you correct me if I'm wrong, he's told me that we get all the T's crossed and I's dotted, that it's ours.
That's my understanding, that it's in the pipeline.
Well, that's what I say. So as far as I'm concerned, and particularly when they tell me to send them a plat with the State of Georgia, its ownership, and tell them the deed book page and the deeds recorded, that's pretty well committed as far as I'm concerned. So I'm hoping that that's well on the way. Okay, that's just for information. On behalf of Mr. Griffin, who's not here, people had called it to his attention, and he put it on the agenda, that the police department, fire department, anybody trying to find somebody that it's mandated that visible from the street, your street number of your house is supposed to be on the house. And I got an officer nodding and agreeing with me 100% back there that they can't do that. So it's an ordinance that's been passed as of, what's the date of that? Buddy Spann signed it in 1990 or 1999? 1999. So what we're going to try to do, ladies and gentlemen, in the council, we discussed this in the work session, we're going to try to put a notification on the water bill, so that everybody gets a copy that gets a water bill, that we're asking them to get that done, and we're going to ask our information director sitting out here to get it on Facebook and on our website and everything, try to get it out. Ms. Rhonda who handles a lot of publicity for all of us. She's gonna try to put it everywhere, and we're gonna try to, Mr. Officer and Chief, we're gonna try to get you updated a little bit on these street numbers. And that's the plan. Y'all got anything else to say about it? That's sort of what we went over Monday night, I believe. Okay, good enough, let's move along. Ms. Lopez has got a full year's schedule of our meetings enclosed in your packet. There's only one exception. It's coming up in November, and what's the Veterans Day?
Yes, sir.
Veterans Day, but she's got a full year schedule set there, and we've all approved that. I don't think we need to, you want a motion that we approve the schedule? You do?
All right.
You
So
shall.
moved.
Mr. Rainey has made a motion that we approve the schedule with the meetings being just for the first, Monday, all the way through, just like it's standard, but in November, we got to move to Tuesday because of Veterans Day. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Johnson. Motion made, seconded, that we approve the calendar for meetings. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it's carried. Chief Williams, you're on. You've got 3 items.
First one's training for Officer Jose Zamora, search and seizure training in Forsyth, January 22nd through the 26th.
All right. I entertain a motion that we approve this training.
Make a motion.
Motion made that we approve this training event, January 22nd through the 26th for Mr. Zamora. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Next item.
The next one will be, Chiefs training for the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police. It's the winter conference. Be held in Athens, Georgia, February the 5th through the 7th, and that would be for me.
Okay. Gentlemen, you have heard the request for training for the chief. I believe he needs all the training he can get.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded, but they allow the chief to go to chief conference and training in Athens, I believe that is, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Got a motion and a second. Hearing none, call for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion's carried. All right, the third item.
Next one for Officer John Lee and Officer Chris Morrison, February 26th through March the 2nd. Also in Forsyth, Police Counter Sniper Level 1 training.
Okay, it was a request for the chief for sniper level training at Forsyth.
Make a motion.
The motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ramey. Any further discussion? As I understand it, for the benefit of somebody who might have a little question about this, it's free training. We do have to pay room and meals.
That's it.
Okay.
That room is $30 a night at the training center.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, huh?
That's all right. I talked with him. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. I'll vote.
Oh, you opposed? Okay.
See the red?
Yeah.